Hello everyone. What if you could store and query billions of vectors right inside the Amazon S3 and power GenAI apps with the Bedrock at 90% lowest cost? Yes, that's possible today. So it's a Amazon S3 Vectors preview, which is introduced by AWS recently. A native vector store built directly in the S3, designed to supercharge retrieval augmented generation workflows, and there is no external vector database, no complex infrastructure needs to be built, just your documents, your embeddings, and your GenAI pipeline running natively in S3. Yes, today we are going to see in this demo and hands-on, I will walk you through how to create Bedrock Knowledge Base, Bedrock by S3 Vector, build an agent and the query it all in just few steps. Okay, let's dive in and see how you can build the scalable, cost effective GenAI solution with nothing but S3 and Bedrock. Okay, before jumping into the practicals to the demo, so just want to take you through architecture, what we are going to do today, and how the process request flow will flow in the design. So we are going to use the PDF as one of the food analysis data, food industry analysis data. Then we have S3 bucket, which will be going to upload those PDF files, and we are going to enable the knowledge base, which is enabled S3 vector bucket functionality under the Bedrock, and which will be used foundational model in the backend by the Bedrock, which and Amazon Lambda service to pull or trigger the Bedrock functions or inferences, and then API gateway will be exposed to the end user, where we are going to use the Postman to generate our prompt or push our prompt to the Bedrock and get the answer what we want from the PDF. So it's kind of RAG we are going to develop, but only instead of using the OpenSearch or any other third-party vector functionality or add-ins, we are going to use the S3 bucket as a vector function or S3 bucket backend to store the your database. Okay, let's get into the practicals and log into your AWS account. Okay, so I'm in my AWS account, which is the US East one or North Virginia. So what we're going to do first steps, we are going to create our S3 bucket, and once S3 bucket get created, we'll be uploading our data from our location where we stored. Okay, so let's jump into the S3 bucket and create the S3 bucket service S3 bucket for the our demo. So I'm going to give a name, like simple name, AWS S3 Vector Rock. Bedrock, like Dave. Okay, so I'm not going to change anything. It's a simple S3 bucket the way we create traditionally. Just create that simple S3 bucket, and once it is created, we will have that S3 bucket available. And what we are going to do, we are going to upload the folder or file from where we store. So we have downloaded file from the for demo purpose. Let's upload the file, add the file, and then this is the file. So it's a food processing annual report of 2024. So we are going to use this, and we'll just upload it. This is become our base file, work as a input raw data. Okay, and then we are going to enable the vector for this S3 bucket on our next step. Once we have S3 bucket created and then uploaded the file, now it's time to create a knowledge base under the Bedrock. So we are get into the Bedrock service and then go to the knowledge base. You can create a knowledge base here. So once you click on the create, you have to select the knowledge base with the vector store. Okay. So you can give whatever name you want as per your project. I'll just keep it as is. Okay. So then I will select the choose data source type, whatever data store you want. Here you can create your own custom rules, roles, IAM roles to have access, list access available. But now I will go and create a service role with this service. Okay. So, but in production or in any your company environment, you should be creating your own custom role with the list permissions, which will be avoid to full access or any other elevated access to that role. Okay. So I'll select the data source as a S3. Okay. And then click on next. Once you select the data store as S3, it will be ask you the which data store you want to use. I will select the our created bucket, S3 bucket. Okay. So once you created S3 bucket, you can have the multiple S3 bucket added here, or data source up to the 4. Okay. And I'm going to use only one as of now. So click on next. Okay. So this is important embedding models, which is for the vector embeddings. We have to use the embedding models. So Titan text embedding V2 we are going to use from Amazon. Okay, just apply it, and then here we are going to choose the vector data store. So if you see here, so you can have the multiple other available vector store, which is most famous or like mostly used Amazon OpenSearch serverless, and then we have the Amazon RDS Postgres serverless or Amazon Neptune Analytics Graph Rack. So this is new introduction by AWS, which is Amazon S3 Vector, which is currently in preview. You can select it and click on next. Once we review everything is correct, all the information is correct, just click on the knowledge base. So it will start creating the knowledge base, and once it is available, it try to sync with your S3 bucket in the backend. It will be generate the embeddings, it will store the embeddings, and then you should be move on next task. Okay, so let's complete this task. If you go and go back in knowledge base, so see. Okay. So if you see, now knowledge base is available, and you can click here and sync the knowledge base once. Manually, it will automatically syncs after the given the thresholds. But first time you have to sync it, so it will be all data will be generated the embeddings and store in the knowledge base. Okay, now S3 knowledge base has been synced, and now it is created the S3 vector index and the vector dimensions. If you can see here, all embeddings has been created, and now knowledge base is ready and synced to move to the next step. So next step is to create the Lambda function, and will be use the knowledge base ID to refer in the Lambda function Python code. So where we are going to use the foundational model from the Bedrock and will be query to this knowledge base. Okay, so let's jump to the Lambda function and just create the Lambda function, and we'll give the Lambda function name. We are going to use the Python 3.11, which is the latest proven model, and then we will be using the AWS S3 Vector. It's a demo Lambda function name, and then we have the Python 3.11 we're going to use. So we have execution role. We already created our execution role, which has the list permissions, which is Bedrock. Uh, Name is Bedrock role. So we given the Lambda for access, and then Bedrock model access. So that will be support list permissions. And then we'll create a basic function first. Smash. Okay, so now function is got created. Now we're going to deploy the code in function which we wrote. So I have uploaded my code in the my public GitHub repo. I'm going to attach this repo in the video descriptions. You can download this code from the my public GitHub repo, so which is under the our AI project tree. So I just copy this code and go back to our Lambda function and paste it. So currently, I'm not going to configure this Lambda function to my network configuration or VPC configuration. But whenever you deploying any Lambda function in your organization, so you make sure that it is having the all configuration parameters set up. It should be in the VPC and attached to the your IAM role, which is list permissions for the execute this Lambda, and any other security parameters you should be configure those, right? So if you see here, I'm just going to update the execution timeout, so which will be 5 minutes or 3 seconds. It is not required though that much, but I'm just general practice I'm doing that. And the one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a parameter. You can use the parameter store, or you can create an environmental variable here, okay, which will be more dependency on our code. So if you see the code, so code we are going to call out the environment variable, which is the knowledge base ID, which we copied recently. So just copy this and create the new environmental variable. So edit and add environmentals. The name will be knowledge base ID, and you go back your knowledge base and copy the knowledge base ID and come back in the AWS Lambda and put the value of whatever knowledge ID we are using it. Okay, so store this knowledge ID. I just saved it. Okay, and we already have the code copied from the repo which we was uploaded. So I'll just give the what are the variables we are going to use. We are going the runtime agent runtime Bedrock agent runtime, which will be used as a agent, okay, agent client, Bedrock client. And then we will be using the knowledge base ID, which we are going to store in the environment variable, and the generative model, right? So the foundational model what we are going to use, Amazon Nova Micro version 1.0, which is text model, which that foundation model we are going to use it. And this code function code will be query with using the foundation model to knowledge base, and based on the input from the API gateway, it will be convert the prompt and the query to the backend RAG, okay, which is our S3 base RAG we set up under knowledge base. Okay, so just deploy this code quickly. Okay, so once we deploy this code, we have to now done with the Lambda function. Next step where we are going to create the API gateway. Okay, so let's jump into the API gateway creation, which is next step. Okay, now start with API gateway as we completed the Lambda function. So we'll create a API gateway. So HTTP API build, then we'll give the name like AWS S3 Vector demo. Okay, so we have given a name, and then we have integration. So we'll be select the Lambda which we created, which is the vector demo Lambda S3 2.0 version, and then click on next. We add the route. So route will be same post route, and the folder name will be this one, demo. So AWS Bedrock demo integration target is okay. So which is Lambda function name, and then we'll click on next. So I'll, instead of default, I will select the dev. Okay. So stage it development, and then let's get created. Okay. So we have successfully deployed the API gateway. Okay. So if you check the integration, it's with the post Lambda, the post requests, and manage integrations we have seen. So let's go quickly and check the API gateway. So go in the APIs, S3 bucket Lambda, post request. Okay. So once we created, we can check the stage. It's a dev stage, and if you can fetch this URL, which will become our so dev, and after that we can copy our stage we created or route we created. So our route will be the S3 demo route, and the same we are going to verify with the functions. So this will become our endpoint. You can make sure create the endpoint securely and create your function code correctly. So we are going to use the Postman to fetch this data. So I just open the Postman and I paste this URL. So we are going to use the post request and send the query. So we will not get any body. So we need to supply the body or prompt in the raw form. So before that, I just want to show you what data we are going to read through it. Okay, that's where you will understand what exactly we are going to fetch the data from RAG, right? So let me open the PDF which we were downloaded for this demo. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, I stored this PDF for you guys, and yeah. So this is USDA, United States Department of Agriculture report for 2024, which is food processing ingredients annual reports. Okay, so we have the report regarding all the data which is import in the United States by from India, and that all ingredients, what are the ratio and what data, what import process has been happened, what content we importing. So it is not full report. We just took a couple of page for the demo purpose. Okay, so we are going to build a prompt to ask the query to this data, and we should get that answer very quickly. So we'll check where we can get the data as a body. So we can write the data on this E column and just minimize this, go to the Postman and write a body as a query. Okay, so the query should be share. This will become our prompt, which will be asking to share of measurements in the food industry. Okay, so we are asking this question to the API gateway, which will be request invoke the Lambda and then supply the data based on the RAG. Okay, So the RAG in backend S3 storage, we have uploaded this file, okay, and this file has this content. And once our expectation is we ask this question to this has to be written this table data automatically on the prompt, okay, using the our Bedrock service, okay. Let me go back and just execute the query. Okay. Yeah, we have now all the answers in front of us. Okay, if you match this output or answer we got from the Bedrock, or you can say API gateway, which we using the Postman. If you go back and check Realytics data, the segment fruit and vegetable, it's 350.87 MMT, which is metric ton. So if you go back and check validate, its answer is correct or matching it. Yeah, this fruits and vegetable, the production in 2022 and 23 is estimated 350.87 million metric ton, right? And this is the same matching the numbers. Milk, it is matching the same. And if you see eggs, milks, meat, okay. So if you check the milk, yeah, milk production 2023, it's a 230.58. Again, it's here 250.48. And meat and poultry, if you see bifurcation, then milk and poultry, it is bifurcated in buffalo meat or then boiler meat. These are all the numbers, right? So we just want to match the numbers with correct numbers, it's brought down, okay. So this all data securely get from your your private data, which is stored in the S3, and that data will be vectorized from the S3 vector function. We are not using OpenSearch, we are not using the Postgres vector database or vector add-ins. So it's a simple S3. So this is how you can save your cost on the RAGs, where you can have bunch of data or plain data or your logs or any type of your service log, you can store it, or you can store any data, business data, or any data you can request through the Bedrock vector S3 service, okay, which is knowledge base we created. And we can create the prompt and play with your questions, or put your questions in the prompt and then get the data very quickly. Okay, going back my presentation, and just I want to show you. Okay, so now let's check the cost efficiency. So real world explorer. Okay, the price highlights, I just brought down the explanations. So how much per GB it will be cost per month, the upload cost, how much it will be cost, the query, how much it will be cost per thousand queries. And then we can have a take example of vectors, how many vectors we can query. Those all bifurcations I put together, the total monthly cost will be goes down to $12, which based on the mechanisms, the inputs or the thresholds are given. The overall for our demo cost, it will be under $1 per month, which we are given the smaller app, or the cost was often $1 month based on our lightweight application or enterprise application. It will be not charged more than that, right? So you can calculate your own data, how much data you have based on this statistic, and how much vectors, 10 million vectors, or how much vectors you're going to query per month, or like that way you can create your own cost explorer. You can go to the AWS cost explorer. There you can put your all numbers, these all numbers, you'll get your answer, how much cost you will get monthly basis. Yeah, so this is how vector S3 vector help you to reduce your cost in your RAG implementation, or query your backend data which is stored in the S3 through the Bedrock generative AI services. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. Keep learning.